Christians for friends, awliya. They are friends one to another. He among you who takes them as friends is one of them. If a Muslim befriends me, he's like me, that means he's outside the fold of Islam. Therefore, his blood can be shed with impunity. Now, some Muslims get ingenuous saying, no, the word awliya doesn't mean friends. It comes from wali, it means protector. Although the word wali can mean protector, depending on the context, it can mean friends. And according to the Muslim expositors, and I have them in front of me, they translate it as friends. Do not befriend Jews and Christians. To further prove that the word awliya can mean friends, in Surah 10, verse 62. Chapter 10, verse 62 says this, Lo, verily the friends of Allah, awliya Allah, are those on whom fear cometh not, nor do they grieve. Notice, Allah has awliya. They are the awliya Allah, meaning the friends of Allah. Are you telling me that these are the protectors of Allah, that Allah needs protection from them? You got to be kidding me. I know you don't mean that, which proves that awliya can mean friends. And according to the Muslim expositors, chapter 5, verse 51, saying, do not befriend Jews and Christians, not just don't take them as protectors. And even if it meant protectors, let me finish with the final point, because I know we have a lot of calls, and we want to return to the subject at hand, the corruption of the Quran. Even if it meant don't take them as protectors, then I want to understand for the life of me, why did Muhammad send Christians to Abyssinia to seek the protection of a Christian? If this means do not take them as protectors, please explain to me, why did Muhammad send Muslims to seek asylum and protection from a Christian leader? However you interpret this passage, you have problems, and Muhammad was inconsistent.
Yes, and I think I can relate it back to the topic at hand, because the real issue we want to look at is, why is there such a massive difference between what Muslims believe and what the case actually is? So think about what our Muslim friend here was saying. Muslims are the most peaceful people in the world, and yet we see violence around the world in the name of Islam every single day. Islam just teaches you to be friends with everyone. Islam specifically commands you not to be friends with other people, and that you're supposed to fight them. Islam teaches that you should greet everyone in love, and Christianity is no, it's actually the exact opposite. Christianity tells you to greet everyone in love, while Muhammad himself told you not to. You force people up against the wall on the side of the road. And of course, we have the Quran. Muslims believe, well, the Quran has been perfectly preserved down to the letter, down to the punctuation mark, and all of the evidence is absolutely wrong. I want to ask, do you investigate anything? Do you actually go out and read anything? Do you just believe what you hear from all your Muslim friends or from your Muslim parents? Do you actually look at your sources? Because we read your sources. We study your sources carefully because we want to be accurate when we say something about Islam. Muslims, at least the vast majority of Muslims I talk to, it never occurs to them to actually go to their sources to make sure that what they're saying about their religion is accurate. It also never occurs to them to go to our sources to make sure that what they're saying about our religion is accurate. They just say whatever they've heard all their lives, and they assume that it's true, and there is never, ever any concern for knowing the truth. And those that do show a concern for the truth, well, they become Christians.
And David, remember, the claim is, you guys are ignorant. You don't know anything. And yet, we are actually quoting the Quran, we are quoting the Hadith. People like Maududi, all of these Orthodox scholars say that the Quran is actually incomplete as a religious code without the Sunnah of Muhammad. As they've said, you're basically a heretic if you just try to pull that Quran-only junk. But anyways, we're ignorant, and you guys quoted copiously, and always do on this program, from the Quran, from the Hadith, from the Sirah literature, everything. And this guy did not quote one Islamic source. But we're ignorant, and he's right.
I don't think he could. I don't think he could quote a source. Well, he doesn't know what it is.
The best, you know, we hope better, but the best we can tell so far from the Muslim callers on this show the last few months is Islam is a religion of pride, arrogance, and ignorance. Is that the case? That's the kind of callers we keep getting. I hope we have a different kind right now. Let's take the next caller right now. You're on the air with Jesus or Muhammad. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello?
Yes, hi.
Yes, hello, welcome. Welcome to our program. You're on the air.
Oh, okay. You guys hear me?
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
All right, thank you, guys. Well, just to start with the subject that corruption of the Quran and stuff, you guys are not, are not limiting yourself to the subject. Since you started, after the guys, the brother talked, you've been talking about different subjects besides the corruption of the Quran. So you're saying something that you're not doing. That's the first thing. If you're gonna stay with the subject, let's stay with the subject.
Okay, go ahead. Stay with the subject. Defend the Quran.
Sure, please, as you as well. And since we're talking about the corruption of the Quran and the name of the show is Jesus or Muhammad, is a preference. We got to talk about the Bible and the Quran and compare the two of them.
Not in this program. In a future program, we'll discuss the authority of the Bible, but don't run from the subject. So you're not trying to run. Focus on the Quran.
Muhammad, Islam.
What is it?
Defend your Quran.
Yes,
do you believe
to the Bible?
Do you believe the Quran is corrupt or not? We will do special programs on the authority of the Bible, and you'll have your time to make your little pot shots. But right now, defend your holy book. Tell us, explain to us why the Quran has not been corrupted. Give us evidence.
The evidence that the Quran has not been, corrupted is right there, laying in front of the brothers David and Sam. There's a computer. They have to go to every chapter in the Bible because they don't memorize any of it. They have just to go and look it up and then decide and take it as a proof. Well, since you got a computer in front of you, brothers, type in there and see how many people that don't speak the language, the Arabic language, and do memorize the Quran at the age of 4 years old and 5 years old. That's a challenge for you, brothers. Show me any one of you that memorize the Bible.
Okay, that's very nice. That's very nice, but how is that evidence?
Well, I don't want to cut off Dave, but I want to make a comment. He says, the evidence is in front of me because the Quran is here and the people have memorized it. Well, number one, I have a Quran in my library, and it's on the website, and I'm challenging Muslims to consult this Quran, as well as Christians. Go online, look for the Rashad Khalifa translation of the Quran. Rashad, R-A-S-H-A-D, Rashad, R-A-S-H-A-D, Khalifa, K-H-A-L-I-F-A. The Rashad Khalifa Quran is available on many Quranic browsers. You can actually buy the copy from Barnes & Nobles, from Borders, Amazon, you name it. You can even find a website of his followers that have the Quran with the appendices. In his Quran, chapter 9, Surah Al-Tawbah, only has 127 verses. He's omitted 2 verses, verses 128 to 129, whereas all the other Qurans, chapter 9 ends at 129 verses. He claims verses 128, 129 were added to the Quran by dishonest Muslims in centuries ago in the early history of Islam, and that they should be expunged from the Quran because they were not revealed to the Prophet. So if you want me to go with the Quran I have today, I have a Quran that proves that the Quran is not uniform, because there's one Quran that omits 2 verses, and the Muslim has an appendix in the back showing that according to your Muslim sources, those are interpolations, verses 128, 129. They need to be thrown out, and he threw them out. So how did memorization guarantee your Quran, when here we have a Quran that's missing 2 verses from your perspective, but he claims they were additions, and they needed to be omitted.
And let's bring up another problem here, namely this problem of memorization. Don't forget that according to your Muslim sources, Abu Bakr sent the people who had the Quran memorized out into battle, and a bunch of them died and lost a lot of the Quran. That's the problem with memorization. If he had collected the Quran before that, your Quran would be much larger today. But he didn't collect it before that, and here's the real issue. If you write down the text, then if a person dies, you still have the text written down. All of the Gospels and all of the texts of the New Testament were originally documents. They were written down. There's a Chinese proverb that says, the weakest ink is mightier than the strongest memory. And what that means is that if you actually make a document, that will outlast the fallible memories of human beings. According to your sources, even Muhammad